Welcome back. Wonderful, 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 wonderful JJ Vikings crew. Welcome back. Welcome back. As you know, the Minnesota Vikings have hired Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator. And this is actually going to put a lot of impact on the team in general because we're having a new guy step in. And I'm excited to watch his introductory video, however you call that. Brian Flores is a guy who can really make a big impact on defensive players, and here are 15 Vikings players who could benefit the most from the Brian Flores hire. So, Patrick Peterson, number one, Patrick Peterson, because, well, Patrick Peterson is a player who kind of who thought he used to fit into the Ed Donatel defense. You know, he thought that he could fit into the Ed Donatel defensive scheme. He was able to fit into it, but it wasn't really benefiting him. You know, aggressiveness wasn't there, zone coverage. You know, Patrick Peterson is obviously a guy who is aging. He's a guy who is aging and cannot afford having defenders pick and ick their way. Oh, sorry, not defenders. Sorry, receivers. You cannot have receivers picking and icking their way through the line on short yardage. You know, because if you have 8 to 9 yards of separation between the receiver, they're just gonna run short routes, get about 4 to 5 yards out of a quick throw, and just get closer and closer to the first down marker. You know, we've seen this time and time again, and I feel like with Brian Flores in here, I feel like he can just move this to more cover one, cover two, cover man. I'd love to see some prevent defense and some zone coverage every once in a while, but if this thing gets too out of hand, move back to the 4-3 defensive scheme because guys like Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith, most of the guys on this list are pretty used to that. And Patrick Peterson is just one of those guys who just needs to be in man coverage or else the zone coverage will kill him. And Eric Kendricks, it all depends on schemes. It all depends on schemes and how you put linebackers where they are and where they're supposed to be. And honestly, Eric Kendricks, he did not look too sharp near the end of the 2022 season. I'm being honest. I'm being very honest. There are guys, receivers, who are going one-on-one against Eric Kendricks, and Kendricks just seems to be jogging down the sideline trying to catch receivers, you know. He's just a little bit old, you know, he's been in the league for about 8 years and just really old. Really old. No offense. Just like for an athlete. He's fairly old and aging, so he's getting up there in age. And honestly, I feel like he could do better in the Brian Flores defensive scheme once we figure out what that is. But I feel like Eric Kendricks, if he's put in the right position to succeed, he will definitely succeed. I mean, 2022 was his first year wearing the big captain C on his chest. So this is obviously pretty new to him in terms of being a captain because he never really wanted that kind of stuff. I think Jordan Hicks is the one with the green dot, but we'll have to figure that out later. Number 3, Harrison Smith. So Harrison Smith, the thing that really, really frustrated me, the thing that annoyed me and frustrated me the most is the fact that Harrison Smith was not getting in the groove. He was getting interceptions pretty much all the time, and I really appreciated that. I loved that. It's what Harrison does. But another part of Harrison Smith is his blitzing and attacking the quarterback in such a vicious way. We didn't see any of that in 2022, and I think it really had the blame. You know, it really had some blame to go to somebody. You know, the blame had to go to somebody for that, and I feel like the blame had to go to Ed Donatel. Ed Donatel was the one to blame for that. Harrison Smith was not being unleashed at all. He had to sit back in the coverage with this annoying zone defense. So obviously it was not the best thing ever. It was not the best thing ever, and man, oh man, oh man. Man, I keep getting alerts. Oh my goodness. All right. Technical difficulties, guys. We always have them. We all have them. We're human. We all make mistakes. Anyways, we're back after slight difficulties. If you guys didn't see, I was getting alerts. But anyways, number 4, Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, same thing with Harrison Smith. Danielle Hunter was not getting unleashed. We saw that Harrison Smith did not blitzing and attack the quarterback. He was not blitzing and attacking the quarterback. And I feel like Danielle Hunter, the most annoying thing was both him and Zadarius Smith, they were both being dropped back into coverage. Especially when they were put in a position where they had the least sacks in a certain part of the season. So Danielle and Za'Darius, from weeks 1 to 6, they were doing very, very well. But then they just seemed to drop. But then Danielle Hunter got his group back in the week 12 against the Patriots when he sacked Mac Jones near the end of the game. And Za'Darius Smith had himself a nice little run stop on Kendrick Bourne. But I feel like we need to unleash 99 and number 55. They are not getting loose. They have to get loose. We even saw Za'Darius Smith. It's a question if we're going to bring him back or not for 2023. That is a huge question. And Za'Darius Smith is honestly a guy who I love a lot. Such good energy, such good, love him a lot. But are we going to bring him back in 2023? I do not know about that point. I do not know about that part. But Danielle and Za'Darius, they're just one of the best, if not the best, edge rushing duo in the NFL. But they need to find a way to get loose. Brian Flores needs to find a way to get them loose, and I feel like they can really do that. I feel like he can really do that. My apologies. But Brian Flores is a guy who has an aggressive mind. He has an aggressive mind, and I feel like if we really had Brian Flores at his true number one level of just smartness, if that's a word, with intelligence, I should say, then I feel like Brian Flores can really just lead this team to an all-blitzing team. All-blitzing team. You know what? Blitz every play. I do not care. Blitz every play. I do not care. As long as we find ways to make it hard for the quarterback. Because, like I said, the defensive linemen are the cornerback's best friend. If you're a cornerback and the quarterback gets sacked, let's say you're a cornerback like Patrick Peterson or Cameron Dancer or Duke Shelley, anyone like that, and you are trying to find a way to cover a guy, but in less than 2 seconds, plop, oops, hit the microphone. But in about 2 seconds, plop, quarterback goes down. Boom, your job is over with. Your job is done for. So, honestly, I like the way that this is going. Because the defensive backs and the edge rushers and the linemen in general, they cannot work without each other. And it's just not going to work like that. They're not going to work without each other. So, honestly, if you're looking at this through a defensive lineman's perspective, you're going to look at this as, the cornerbacks, the defensive backs, they all have good coverage. More time for us to sack the quarterback. And I know the quarterback can throw it away, but what are you going to do when you're being jammed in the pocket by 5,000 big linemen? Okay, let's be real. 5 big linemen. Just boom, 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 just shoving through the line at full power with the leverage, the bull sheer diesel power. The sheer diesel power that they have, the bull diesel power, the sheer diesel power. Like, honestly, it is absolutely amazing how these guys can do what they can do. And it's just amazing what we can do if we actually have a defensive coordinator with the right mind. And Brian Flores is that guy. I almost keep on mispronouncing his name. My apologies. Number 6, Lewis Cine. Oh, wait. What a coincidence. Lewis Cine wears number 6, and I put him on the list as number 6. Wow, what a coincidence. Lewis Cine is a defensive safety. I believe he's a strong safety who wants to go out there and wreck stuff. He said he wanted to go out there and stack bodies, he said. He said he wanted to go out there and stack bodies and just wreck stuff on the field and just make big hits. His words, not mine. Lewis Cine is a guy who gave us so much hype in the offseason of 2022, had a fantastic training camp, and just gave us a lot of hype until all came crashing down when he broke his leg in the special teams position against the Saints in London in week 4. Lewis Cine broke his leg, and the video is absolutely gruesome and terrifying. His cleat got caught in the turf. See, this is why you gotta change the turf to grass. Honestly, grass is a lot better. Someone's got to take this up with the NFL. Because I don't know how we are still allowing this. But the point is, Lewis Cine can really benefit from the Brian Flores hire because it's all about schemes. And I feel like the Vikings could find a way to use Brian Flores to scheme in Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, and Lewis Cine all in there. And I feel like Lewis Cine and Cameron Bynum don't have to fight over the starting safety job anymore with Brian Flores in there. I don't think they have to compete over it. I feel like Lewis Cine and Cameron Dancer can be in there with Harrison Smith blitzing or being used as a bit of a linebacker. That'd be pretty cool to see. But as long as there's only, let's say, a little bit of zone coverage between the linebackers, that'd be fine with me, but not every play. And also, more man coverage, the better. The more man coverage, the better. And Lewis Cine is a guy who's just a fantastic special teamer and a great blitzer in my eyes. I feel like if he was being blitzed more, like if he was blitzing more, then I feel like he could have gotten the quarterback. I feel like he could have gotten the quarterback. His speed and sheer brutality and the big hits that he makes against the quarterbacks and on the quarterbacks is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Brian Flores can find a way to scheme him in there. Number 7, Dalvin Tomlinson. Well, Big Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson. He's a huge guy, but he didn't really fit too well in Ed Donatell's defensive scheme, I could say. But he was doing some really good job. He was doing a really good job at stopping the run. And I feel like that's something that Linval Joseph or Ndamukong Suh can do if we signed any of those guys. But they're both on the Eagles. The point is, Dalvin Tomlinson is a guy who can really, really bring a big impact to our defensive line if he has the right defensive coordinator. And with Brian Flores, bam, right defensive coordinator, and our defense is going to go out there and shine. Dalvin Tomlinson, bam, run stop. And I'm so excited to see it. And Harrison Phillips, number 8. Number 8 is Harrison Phillips. And Dalvin Tomlinson and Harrison Phillips are a great duo at defensive tackle or defensive lineman, in the interior part. You know what I mean? They're the defensive linemen who are good defensive tackles and nose tackles, things like that. Harrison Phillips is an absolute monster. He came from the Buffalo Bills, had the playoff drought, but then came to the Minnesota Vikings, signed with them, and he felt like he wanted to compete for championships with Minnesota and not Buffalo. And look at that. He helped the Vikings win against Buffalo somehow. I can't believe we won that game. Patrick Peterson had the game-winning interception. I freaked out. It was amazing. So it all depends on scheme. Which brings us to Cameron Bynum, who, like I said, it all depends on the scheme, how you put players in there, how you put players out of there, how you bench guys, how you put guys on the field, where do you put them on the field, how do you put them on the field, just different ways. And I feel like Cameron Bynum can really fit into that. And he himself said that Harrison Smith, who should be schemed in a good way, by the way, taught Cameron Bynum everything that he knows. So I feel like with these guys like Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith, who are just great leaders, Dalvin Tomlinson, Danielle Hunter, guys like that who are just great leaders, Harrison Phillips as well, you name it. Great leaders for the younger guys, and just they bring a lot of talent and potential and just leadership. It's all that it is. Even the older guys still have a bit of potential. Number 10, Brian Asamoah. He really hyped me up coming out of Oklahoma in the 2022 NFL Draft. Brian Asamoah had that fumble recovery against the New York Giants. Absolutely insane. We were all hyping ourselves up. Brian Asamoah, is he a 2023 breakout player? Duh. The way he's playing, he's a big play waiting to happen. The Vikings needed to unleash him, and they did, and they were able to get a fumble recovery because of him. And I'm so proud of him for that, man. And Brian Flores and Brian Asamoah. Oh, look at that. Two Bryans. Brian Flores and Brian Asamoah can both collaborate well. Two Bryans. Let's go. Brian Asamoah, it really depends on, scheming and just ways that you can, get him to just be out there with Jordan Hicks, with Eric Kendricks, with guys like that. That'd be absolutely amazing. Love to see it. Next, Jordan Hicks. Same thing with Eric Kendricks. They both just didn't seem to be getting to guys quick enough. Jordan Hicks is a silky smooth defensive linebacker. He's really silky smooth. He's like the next Anthony Barr for our team. But honestly, Jordan Hicks, I wouldn't say that Brian Asamoah could replace him yet, but I feel like Jordan Hicks could use some work, and Brian Flores can really bring that work to him to help him. And Jordan Hicks he's got a big thing coming. He's got a big thing coming, and I feel like he could still break out in 2023 and have himself a nice year. And Cameron Dantzler, number 12. See, Cameron Dantzler, he's been in and out of the roster. He's been having these injuries, these really frustrating injuries. Defensive back has not been our position this year. Which is why we've had guys like Duke Shelley step in. I'm so proud of Duke Shelley for the way that he's been playing this year. But Cameron Dantzler, he's been in and out of IR, which means injured reserve, the injured reserve list, just in case you guys don't know about that. Cameron Dantzler's injuries have really frustrated me, especially because of how much of a talented guy he is, and really funny off camera or off the field. I mean, he's really funny. Every once in a while, he'll go up to the camera in the Vikings YouTube videos and just say goofy things. That guy's hilarious. That guy's absolutely hilarious. And I feel like he has a lot of potential. He's as young as Justin Jefferson is. Cameron Dantzler came into the league in 2020, and he doesn't deserve to have this many injuries. So really got to step it up and work with him. Number 13, Ross Blacklock. Woo! Ross Blacklock signed to the Vikings practice squad and then eventually got moved to the actual 53-man roster, the team. I feel like Ross Blacklock, like I said, it all depends on schemes. And if you can find a way to put Ross Blacklock in there, I feel like that would really work out well for us. And even Kyrus Tonga, who I did not put on this list, but he can also really benefit. I didn't put him on the list because he could be a bit of a spot behind Ross Blacklock, so I don't think it'd be necessarily necessary to put Kyrus Tonga in the starter position, but he could be a cheap version of Vita Vea. And I'd love to see Kyrus Tonga go out there and have some great football, but Ross Blacklock could be our guy at defensive tackle every once in a while, but I feel like he could really help out, in the new Brian Flores scheme. Aggressiveness means bring all your guys up there. Just go get the quarterback, make things uncomfortable for him. Just be aggressive. Be aggressive. It's all I've ever wanted. It's all I've wanted. Be aggressive. And I feel like Brian Flores, he can help with that. He can for sure help with that. And number 14, whoopsie, microphone almost fell. Here we go. We're ready. Number 14, Duke Shelley. See, Duke Shelley, he's a guy that excited me so much ever since being signed to the Vikings practice squad from the Bears. Duke Shelley has been having these enormous pass breakups, these huge pass breakups. I cannot be any more proud of him for how well he's been doing for our team, replacing Cameron Dantzler, doing so well. And he's only 5'8". He's really short. He's 5'8" and pretty short for an athlete, for a football player. But he still gets it done. He obviously had that enormous pass breakup against the Bills in Week 10 to prevent a game-winning touchdown against the tight end Dawson Knox. And honestly, from ever since Week 10, Duke Shelley has had himself a fantastic 2022 season. And then in Week 11 against the Cowboys, he was pretty quiet. But then in Week 12 against the Patriots on Thanksgiving night, when we crushed them 33-26, yeah. But Duke Shelley, he, of course, had a pass breakup against Kendrick Bourne and Devontae Parker. I feel like he was getting a bit picked on by Devontae Parker because of height, but Duke Shelley still locked them down. He locked down Kendrick Bourne and Devontae Parker, so that's fine with me. Duke Shelley's been playing amazingly. And then Week 13 against the Jets, he prevented the Jets from scoring a touchdown by breaking up a pass against, I believe it was Tyler Conklin or one of the Jets receivers. And he went from there, shook his head. Nope, you're not getting past me. Really like that. Really love Duke Shelley. His energy is amazing. His energy is awesome. And then in Week 18, he had an interception against his old team, the Bears. The Bears had an interception against the Bears on 4th and 10 when the quarterback lobbed up a horrible pass that was underthrown and got picked up by Duke Shelley. And people were going out to the field congratulating him getting a pick against his old team. And even though he lost 40 yards of field position, it doesn't matter. I'm so proud of Duke Shelley. And number 15, you guys will be surprised that I put this, but Luigi Villain. Yes. Undrafted free agent, and I get it. You're like, why'd you put this random Luigi Villain guy in there? Well, I may or may not have taken a peep, and I saw him playing in Week 6 against the Miami Dolphins of 2022, so Why not put him out there a bit more? Why not put him out there a bit more? I mean, he didn't get any QB pressures or sacks, but that guy looked like he wanted to eat out there. He wanted to go have some QB lunch. And Luigi Villain, I feel like he can go ahead and do that kind of stuff. If hopefully Brian Flores can find a way to scheme him into the defense, that'd be absolutely amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing to see what Luigi Villain can do if we actually give him a chance, which I think Brian Flores can do. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Those are your 15 Vikings who could benefit from the Brian Flores hire. I know I didn't put Kyrus Tonga on the list, but he's also one of those guys. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys, JJ Vikings crew, and Skol Vikings. Stay safe out there, guys.